Hello everybody, it's Genghis again, and today I'm doing a review of the T49 light tank. It's the new American tier 8 light tank in the new patch 9.3, which is going to come out very soon. It comes in the Chaffee line after the also new T37 and M41 Walker Bulldog, and rejoins the T54E1 line leading to the T57. It's kind of interesting because starting from the M5 Stuart and leading to the T54E1, you basically have two lines, the difference being that one is a pure scout line, while the other one has a medium at tier 5 and tier 8, but also has scouts at tier 6 and 7. So basically you have two lines to choose from if you want to get to the T57 in the next patch. Now this light tank is probably the most controversial and special of the new light tanks arriving in the new patch. And there's one reason for this: the gun. Now, there are two guns you can use, and both are kind of viable, I guess. The first is a 90mm, I'm just going to talk about it real quick. It has a decent rate of fire of 9.52, basically 10, with a penetration of 102 on HE, 250 on heat, and 45 on the second HE, and does 320 damage with HE and 240 with heat. It has decent accuracy of 0.38, and an aim time of 2.3 seconds. This gun is basically more or less viable only with heat, and it's probably not going to be used a lot or at all in random matches, but it could be very interesting to use in a stronghold or ESL, basically any kind of competitive play, because you get 102 penetration HE with very nice DPM if you're using HE to fight other scouts like 3090s, to fight 5100s, maybe the RD152, 251, which might appear also in competitive play next patch. That kind of tanks, and you still have a very nice heat shell for just fighting normal IS-3s and stuff, which you should be able to penetrate frontally easily. However, the most famous and most used gun on this tank is for sure going to be the 152mm gun launcher XM81 conventional. Now, if someone could explain me what is conventional about this gun, I would be surprised, because it's a 152mm that's bigger than the gun on the E100. I just want to point that out real quick. The rate of fire is of 2.61, otherwise horrible. Your reload is around 18 or 19 seconds if you're fully pimped out. The average penetration with HE is of 76, with heat is of 152, and with the second HE is 85. The difference between the two HEs being the penetration and the splash, but I'll talk about that in a second. The damage is of 910 with HE, and if you're firing heat, you do 700 damage. The accuracy is an utterly terrible 0.6, with an aim time which is just as terrible of 3.6 seconds. So basically, the soft stats, which is what I call aim time, accuracy on the move of the gun, are completely useless. The reload is horribly long, but you get the possibility to do 900 damage with HE on a light tank. And can you imagine two-shotting a Leopard with a tier 8 light tank? Well, next patch it's going to be possible if you high roll a bit. So that's basically what makes this tank. Otherwise, you know, it's fast for sure, it does 72 kph, but that's nothing special anymore in the new patch because there are so many fast light tanks. The engine power is very decent with 550 horsepower compared to the weight of around 25 tons, 23 tons with my setup. Armor, let's skip that part because there is none. And yeah, view range is of nice 400 meters, and both the traverse speed and turret traverse speed are 44, which are not incredible but more than enough and very usable. Now, just to talk about the ammo real quick for the big gun. It's really interesting because heat and HE are basically of the same price, and then you have the gold HE, which costs 7 times more or less what the other ammo costs. What's the difference? Basically, compared to the normal HE, you get a bit more penetration, and you get a higher splash radius, and quite a lot. You go from 3.66 meters to 5.11 meters of splash range. Now, it's still not incredible, you're not going to splash anything for a lot, so I don't know when it's really going to be that useful to spam this HE, except maybe in competitive play. However, it's still funny that you can actually splash tanks with a light tank. I just find that glorious. Otherwise, just to go over equipment and consumables real quick. Of course, for the commando, you're gonna want 6 cents and probably camo, but as the accuracy is so bad, snapshot and smooth ride have their point too. And yeah, otherwise, as a scout tank, go for camo first, and then go for other useful skills such as situational awareness for more view range, and anything which helps your aim time or reload. You could also go for brothers in arms at some point. Equipment wise, it's much harder to say because there's so much you want and you only have 3 slots. Now why do I say you have so much you want? You want vert stabs because of the aim time. You want a gun laying drive because of the aim time, like you really want to get this aim time down. You want a gun rammer because the reload is so horrible. You want coated optics and maybe also binoculars, or maybe even a camouflage net because you're a scout, you know? You're not always going to be able to do damage nature to in-game on some maps. You want to be scouting. You also might want to have vents for an overall increase in camo, view range, aim time, accuracy, and reload time. So it's really a very hard choice to do. Even the weight ammo rack has its place on this tank because the ammo rack gets damaged rather frequently. In the end, I decided to go with a standard vertical stabilizer, optics, and gun rammer, but I'm really not convinced about what I should take because I really want a gun laying drive. And maybe I really want binocs too, and I really want vents, that's for sure. So that's a really hard decision. When it comes to consumables, you will want a first aid kit and a repair kit because you do get damaged both crew and mainly ammo rack wise in this tank. Also, if your drags are damaged, you're probably going to have to repair them most of the time because you have no armor, no health. Otherwise, if you have the money, there are 3 things you can do here. First of all, of course, you can go for fire extinguisher, but in my opinion, if you burn, oh, you're basically dead anyway because you're getting shot at, if you know what I mean. So you might, if you have the money, I would probably recommend skipping it. If you don't have the credits to use premium consumables, of course, a fire extinguisher is a sound choice. Otherwise, a second repair kit is far from stupid. 105 octane gasoline or just 100 octane gasoline, the cheaper version of it, makes sense too to increase the maneuverability a bit and be able to race around the battlefield faster. And for sure, the case of cola is what I would take personally, just because it increases both the gun control, which is aim time, the reload time, and your view range, and your camouflage. So if you have the credits to, you know, spend 20,000 or 10,000 if you buy it on discount per game, I would recommend using this. So let's have a look at some replays. So in this first replay, we are following around Waki in his T49 night tank. What a surprise! He got the map Erlenberg and he got a very, very typical matchmaking for the test server. Anyway, he's trying out this tank. He's going to play it rather aggressively. Also, what's the point of scouting when both teams have 12? And I'm going to repeat that, 12 scouts. So yeah, he goes on the ridge line. He can use his rather good gun depression, which I forgot to mention, I'm sorry. But yeah, the gun depression of this tank is very, very usable. And he gets bashed by another T49. Shoots back, and did you see that accuracy? Like, it's a wonder if this tank hits, you know? Especially unaimed. And as you can see, aiming takes a long time. And even now you're like, wait, are you still aiming or am I already fully aimed? However, did you see that shot? He just did 915 damage to his fellow tier 8 scout. Basically taking off all of his health. And that's just what this tank is about, you know? Shoot and hit and you wreck. Or shoot and hit and you hit a track and do no damage. Or shoot and miss. Because you're going to miss a lot. Except if you are at really close range. However, getting to really close range with a scout is going to be very hard, except in endgame. But well, the thing is, like, I really don't think this tank is overpowered overall, which is something a lot of people might be saying, but it's going to be hilarious fun when you hit. The real downside I see is just the horrible reload time. I mean, okay, you do have the mobility, and did you see that snapshot? Like, driving at full speed with 0.6 accuracy, shooting on the move, and hitting. What? And then the next shot misses full aimed. But that's how RNG works, I guess. And now look at this. He misses. Okay, I thought he hit, sorry for that. But anyway, yeah, so I really don't think this tank is overpowered. However, I can imagine it to be hell of annoying if you do get hit through 900 in your tier 10 medium. And I also can imagine, boom, through the pillars of the building. He just did 655 damage or something to that Lorraine, taking it out of the game. So as you can see, you know, it could be hilarious fun. But the next shot at that Lorraine might have just missed, hit the house, hit the track, low rolled, and then the Lorraine, which is still an autoloader, would have probably destroyed him. That's basically what I see as the issue with this tank. It's very, very... How could he hope to hit that shot? Wacky, really. Shooting at 500 meters with a T49. And it's not a tank you're going to play because you think you can carry game or do a constant damage output or anything like that. It's a tank you're going to play to have fun. And if you're looking for a tier 8 light tank, which can be hilarious fun and you can put away with some frustrating aim time and reload and frustrating games in general, then I do recommend this tank. If you're looking for a tank which is very competitive and probably along the best light tanks of this tier, wait a second, boom. And just to talk about that real quick, you've hit an ally light tank T54. He just did I think 344 damage to the RE251 and 200 and something to his ally by hitting the enemy tank. Like, that's just how hilarious this tank can be, you know. I could imagine some hilarious double kills where you shoot two waffles standing next to each other and kill them both. So yeah, if that's what you're looking for, take this tank. In case you're looking for a more competitive tank, I think I'm going to recommend the R251 and the good old 1390, which is still a very, very good tier 8 scout. Now let's have a look at the second replay. So here we are again in the second battle. We are following around Wacky again. He is... I don't know why it says JHFV as his clan, because he is very surely from Omni. I'm very sure of that, being of that clan myself. Anyway, yeah, this time he got Sand River, and I chose this battle not because it's the battle where I see a T49 do the most damage or anything, but because this is similar to the kind of matchmaking you're probably going to get on the live server, more or less regularly. Basically, if you're going to drive the T49, just as any tier 8 light tank, your battles are going to be tier 9 and 10 battles, more or less all of the time. So, yeah. And, okay, there are a lot of tier 10 tanks, probably on the normal server you're going to have a couple tier 9 tanks in there too, but I just wanted to show you what this tank can do, and what its downsides are, in a tier 10 battle, on a map, let's say it, which is very, very fitting for this tank. You have a lot of ridge lines to use, the map is very open, you can flank a lot. So this is probably going to be one of the maps you're going to be wishing for when you're driving this tank, just like more or less any other scout. So he stops here at the beginning to see if he can get any early shots off on some enemies poking around there, but they all stayed behind the ridge, all being the M48 pattern. So he decides to go on the hill, and I really like this position. Why? Because he can use his turret armor, so it's not, well, not turret armor, but his gun impression to only show a very small part of his tank, making him much harder to hit. And he's got, you know, he just has to go back 10 meters and he's completely safe for when he reloads. And wow, 915 damage on a snapshot. Yeah, that's what this tank is about, you know. That's the kind of shots you're going to want to have, and you are going to get from time to time. And I mean, it's just hilarious to do, you know. If he high rolls like max rolls, he could have one-shot that guy. One-shot, you know. Like, what the F? Anyway, he decides to, as soon as the enemy T49 dies, he decides to go and put a shot into this STB, who is not looking at him. And yeah, look at that. That was close. He just splashed him for nearly 100 damage. And that's basically the kind of moment where you're going to wish you have the, or be happy you have the gold HE loaded, because that would for sure have done no or much less damage with the normal HE shells. Now he's reloaded, the STB is aiming at him, he really doesn't want to eat a shot. Also notice that he already had to use his repair kit because his ammo rack was damaged. He was unspotted, so he's confident the STB is going to be aiming away, or looking away. And he aims very carefully here, goes through the engine deck, and plants 980, if I'm not wrong, damage into that tier 10 medium. And wow, like that's just so devastating. I would like to know how much damage to crew he did, or to modders in general. However, I can't really know that. But still, that just hurts so much, you know what I mean? So he decides to load a heat shell here. And his ammo rack got damaged again, so now he's got a reload of, I don't know exactly, but 35 to 40 seconds. And oh, an M103 on 700 health. Oh, no M103 anymore. That's just how ridiculous this gun is. And he goes back to loading HE. Now as the enemy pattern goes at him, and here you can really see this issue with the tank. I mean, okay, he's got ammo rack, so his reload is even, like, you know, double as long. But even with without being ammo racked, when you're getting pushed at, when you can't run away, when you're blocked in a corner, that's when this tank really fails. Now he's doing some really nice play here, using that little rock to hide behind from the pattern. And now that he's reloaded, he goes out and aims, splashes him from below, and does 350 damage. However, that's the issue. You only do 300 something damage, the enemy has nearly 400 health. You don't kill him, and now you're reloading forever. Now, this pattern, if I'm honest, is really not a genius. He should have pushed Wacky when he was reloading and killed him real quick. But he gave Wacky a chance to reload. Well, that would be if Wacky wasn't ammo racked. However, he is, so he's still reloading when the pattern comes back out. He tries to dodge this shot and, yeah, gets killed anyway. So yeah, I hope I showed you what this tank's about and what it is not about. It is about doing hilarious amount of damage to enemy tanks, to one-shotting mid-life targets, and a lot of things like that. However, it's also about having a very unpredictable gun. You don't know how much damage you're going to do. You don't know if you're going to penetrate a certain area or not. You don't know if the shots are going to explode when hitting the tracks, or if they're going to go through and do damage anyway. And you have a very long reload time. Anyway, I hope you guys all appreciated this video. And yeah, please check out the channel description, check out my live stream and my YouTube channel, and maybe subscribe and follow those. Otherwise, follow the Twitch of Odem Mortis too, also in the channel description. Leave us any questions you have about the test server in the commentaries. We're going to do our very best to answer them as fast and as well as we can. Also, Odem Mortis has a Facebook page, which you should definitely drop a like to keep updated about all the epic content. For example, they just posted a video about the battle against the Dark Gods and Valhalla in Clan Wars. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give us some support and drop a like. Share this video with your friend if you liked it, and see you next time. Bye.